Howdy peeps on a generally overcast and nasty morning, typical British summertime again. Excuse me. I had a kit turn up yesterday and I've been looking around on YouTube and I could only find one review of it, which was in Russian. Now it's probably not a very popular kit, hence the lack of reviews. We can't fit the box all in shot. As you can see, we have the Krupp 420mm Big Bertha. It's a World War I German artillery. 1/35 scale, made by Takom. Box is too big to get it in. Let's just, there you go, 1/35. There's your Takom badge. A few pictures on the side of the box of various versions. We have one in the speckly camo and a couple in looks like a Dunkelgelb base and one in a green base, so different camo options. The other side of the box just shows you what you get in the box and a few adverts for the rest of the Takom World War I series, the Mark I male, female, and a couple of the other heavy howitzers. Now, I bought this kind of on a whim, kind of because it's cool. It just looks different, and it was a good price. I got it on Amazon. They had only a couple left. I guess they were just trying to shift them. Typical Takom boxing bagging. So we shall start off with the sealed resealable bag, which has got the instructions in and a couple of poly caps and some chain. Sure, getting that. So I'll probably get round to this fairly soon. So first things we find, a couple of lengths of just fine brass chain, which I'm guessing are going to be used for the railings. I think 2 of them. And a couple of poly caps. So it looks a nice little chain. And poly caps is poly caps. Pop them back in the box so we don't lose them. Put the instructions to one side. Colour and markings guide with a picture of the box art on it. Yes, we don't just get the gun, we do get all the platform around it as well. And on the inside, colours by MIG, and as you'd expect, brass on the shell, and then the camo colours. As you can, oh dear, yeah, won't be doing that one I don't think. That's giving me weird eyes just looking at it. It's like one of those magic eye images. So let's have a quick look in the instructions. It's a fairly sizable book. Bit of bump about the Big Bertha or the Dicker Bertha. Designed at end of 1904, 43 ton in weight, 820 kilo shells it fired. We start at first page, usual gump, how-tos, try not to hurt yourself, don't eat it. And we get the sprue map. There's not a huge amount of sprues in the box, as you can see. And we're straight into what are fairly typical Takom instructions. Starting off with what I assume is the main carriage for the gun. A couple of fingernails and wash my hands so I can't pick anything up. Just gradually adding more and more parts to it, putting the shell together. Adding the shell hoists, the various access ladders and ramps, honking great big wheels, only 4 part, well, plus the shoes, so it shouldn't be too bad. Wheels going on, gun barrel going together, and yeah, it doesn't look exactly complicated. It's going to be big and impressive, but it's going to be a fairly simple build. Gun shield goes on last, and a rear view of the model. So without further ado, let's get looking at the plastic. Some of these are, well, they're all large sprues, and some of these are very large parts. And they are all in resealable bags for the looks of things, so excuse the rustling. So, first sprue that comes out is sprue B, which I'm guessing is the base for the main carriage and the various sections of platform that go around it. Now what I'm looking for in bits this size is sink marks. I can't see or feel any obvious ones, which is good. Being World War I, we're not looking at extremely fine bolt and rivet detail. They're going to be big clunky ones, which are nicely represented, raised as well. All the necessary holes actually moulded in as holes, and yep, all the way through. Some are a little flashy, but that's not a problem. So we've got nothing super fine, but a nice amount of detail on there. And then obviously on the back we just got the standard ejector pin marks and a few mounting points. Oh, the box is falling over. So open the next one. Again, more rustling. I really should have opened these beforehand, but I'm taking advantage of it being quiet at the moment. We've had a couple of light thunderstorms go through, and the guys decided to cut the grass at the old people's home. So sprue D, we've got more. It's the smaller, greeblier parts, or some of various wheels for adjust elevation and the tracking of the gun, so you can aim it where you want it to go. The end of the barrel, which you can see, is rifled, which is very nice, and obviously clear through moulded. I'll bring that up so you can see the rifling and everything else. Again, crisp, nice detail. And again, I'll say it, due to its lineage of being World War I, it's not going to have subtle, delicate connections or bolts or anything like that. It's going to be heavy industrial. And on the reverse side, again, everything looks nice. There's no flash, or if there is, it's tiny little fiddly bits, which aren't a problem. And everything looks good. Well, to me anyway. I can't exactly say for the accuracy of the kit as to whether it's fully accurate to the period and what they actually look like, but this is one of those cases where close enough will be good enough. We get 2 of these sprues, so I'll only show one of them. So sprue E, which is the wheels, all the, not track pads, wheel pads, and access ladders, and more fiddly little parts, side of the main mounting point for the gun. and again, all looks nice. So it's not a huge amount of detail on any of the bits, but again, it's one of those things I'm not sure how much detail it would actually have had. I'll bring it up because the wheels do look quite nice. Obviously they're set with the flat spot at the bottom, because it's kind of a, you can see we've got the track, not track shoes, wheel shoes, almost like tracks. They pivot around on the outside of the wheel, and when the wheel sits like that, 3 of them are flat across the bottom. 2 or 3? 3, yeah. Which adds to the stability and stops the gun rolling back so far when it fires. As you can imagine, there's probably quite a bit of recoil from launching an 820 kilo shell through the air. I believe these are actually used against forts and castles and stuff rather than actual people, or infantry in trenches. Would have been massive overkill for that. And on this one, which is sprue C, going got more of the heavily riveted plates and planking, not planking, well, is it a plank? If it looks like a plank and it's made out of metal, I don't know. Another axe or plate stand on with the holes all the way through it, and the this one's actually got the legs moulded onto it. More parts of the gun barrel. Again, more gangways and walkways, and the toothed tracks. I think that one's the elevation one, and that one is the traverse one. I guess that's probably the main mount for the gun that it pivots on. But again, yeah, bit chunky. The smaller part or thinner parts have got the ejector pin pads moulded onto them, which is again a lot easier to clean up than if they were on the part. There's quite a lot on some of these walkways, ejector pins on the back, but they will be facing downwards, so you probably never see them. It might be an idea to give them a quick run over with the sander. They are very shallow, so it shouldn't be too tricky to fix. Some chunky ones on the inside of these parts, but they're probably going to be hidden as well. Very fine fiddly little cable, I'm guessing there. You have to be careful not to snap that when we take it off the sprue. Might have to use the hot knife technique. Which, if you've got very fiddly, delicate parts, if you just get your knife and a lighter and just heat up the blade and just go straight through, hot knife through styrene, as it were. And the final sprue, as I say, there's not a lot to this kit, and it will give you a clue as to the sheer size this thing was going to be if the first sprue didn't, because this contains the gun shield and the main parts of the gun. Now, I don't have huge hands, but you know, you can see that's an A4 cutting mat. So yeah, we're looking at a really good sized piece here. Obviously you're going to have seams to clean up on the main, whether that's the breech and barrel, I'm not entirely sure. But it's huge. Takom are usually pretty good at moulding things accurately, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. The main top of the carriage, again, big solid piece of plastic. I can't see any sink marks in it. A slight one running along there, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. A couple of little swipes of the sander or file will get rid of that. We also have the main side braces. I'm guessing wheels would attach there. and then the honking great gun shield, which does have quite a lot of fairly delicate detail on it. So if I bring it up, so we got raised and recessed rivet and bolt detail. We've got the little hatches, got everything moulded in as one. But it all looks crisp and clean, so there's not a problem with that. And on the back, I've managed to keep the back of the gun shield free from ejector pin marks, which is a good thing, so that is visible. Got the separate ejector pin pads to prevent that. There are ejector pin marks on the inside of this, but I believe this glue's straight on top of the other base part, so you'd never see them, they're going to be inside. These may need a bit of seeing to, especially that one and that one. But we'll look when we're putting it together. We'll look and we'll go, do I need to or not? If any of them are visible, yes, I will fill them and sort them. And obviously the ones inside the barrel aren't going to be a problem. Those ones are below the level of halfway, so they're not going to cause an issue either. I'll just snip them off anyway. And that, for such a honking big kit, is all you get in the box. Now there's not a huge amount of parts, I know, but as you can see, a lot of them are honking big parts. I don't think I've ever seen any of these built either, so it'll be interesting. But there we go. Try and actually get most of it in shot. There we are. So that's the Takom Big Bertha 420mm World War I artillery piece. As you can see, it should go together fairly easily without too much trouble. I mean, that's what the chains are for, is to run around the walkways to stop people falling off. And yeah, it should go together well. And it will certainly be an interesting and different piece to have sat on the shelf when I'm done. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. I've managed to keep this one fairly short. There wasn't a lot to it. And if you like what you see and you'd like to see more, don't forget to click like, subscribe, leave a comment. See what else I've been doing, filling and sanding. And yeah, if you saw the pile of sanders, files and fillers and God knows what all over my bench at the moment, you'd probably have a heart attack. Special hobby kit, don't ask. Yeah, I'll like to give a shout out to a buddy. Channel name is Sprue Surgeon, Mark. He's putting out plenty of content and doing his damn best, so deserves support, as does anyone really, for having the stones to sit here and talk about modelling to a camera and put it out there for anyone to view. It's one thing doing it if it's just your friends or people you know are going to see it, but when it's open to the world, you start thinking about it. It does take a bit of stones to be able to sit there and do it, especially and speak confidently. Anyways, so yeah, Sprue Surgeon, make sure you check him out. And on that bombshell, I shall say, rock on, peace, yeah, that way around, or bunny ears, whichever you prefer. Have a good day, enjoy your modelling, and don't work too hard. Bye bye.